Okay, here's my campfire. It's kind of hard to see in the dark. Somebody chopped up some wood and left it, and I gathered it up. Over here, I got some old hardwood 2x4s I picked up from a sawmill down on 58 outside Norman Station. Some old man spitting tobacco with his son was walking the road, and I said, "Hey buddy, you want to get any firewood?" And he told me about this mill. Said, "Yeah, they'll give you the scraps for free." And hell, they did. The guy told me to come back and get more. Got me a blazer going on here. I figure I'll get a nice hot bed of coal so it'll fire right up in the morning. I got left over there. Got my axe here. It's hard to see over here. Let me get over at an angle. But I was able to get my car back up in here. I'm about 300-400 feet off the road right now. They put in some posts in the old roadway that used to come back up in here, but there's a way around it. Okay, over here, try to get out here so the light can help you. Got a piece of plywood for my car. I keep all my gear on top of, and just got some coolers with my food and my Gatorade and water. Got everything in here. And my blazer, big old fire. It's getting cold out here, so I'm glad I have this firewood. Over here, get my tent a little bit away from the fire. It's kind of hard to see in this light, but you can kind of make it out a little bit there. That's my tent. And then tonight, I think we got a pretty big moon. It's lighting up the whole forest. I don't know if it's a full moon or if yesterday was a full moon, but or new moon or whatever, but it's putting out a lot of light. So I was able to turn my lantern off, save some of that fuel. I only had one sock on my lantern anyway, so it was burning a lot of fuel. So I was able to turn that off because of all this natural light I'm getting through here because of that moon. It's kind of hazy up there. I wish it'd clear out. It'd really brighten things up. You have to excuse me, I got something stuck in my eye. Kind of breezy. Wish it was a little less breezy, but this breeze is helping burn these big logs. They're sappy, still kind of dry. There's some type of fir or spruce or pine or something, so the wind's helping burn those up because I want to save my good stuff for the morning. The stuff I got over here from the sawmill, you can kind of look at it. It's just these guys rough saw hardwood. You know, that's a piece of oak 2x4. It's not real big. You know, there's probably none of them in here longer than 18, 24 inches or so. But it is solid hardwood. There's no cheap softwood in this. This is all oak, walnut, poplar, I don't know what else. But boy, it sure burns pretty. I mean, it burns hot, no smoke. You know, you can see these are just like the ends where they cut them to length, 8, 12, 16, 20 foot, whatever length they cut them to. And hell, the guy was nice as can be. Let me look at the grain on that. I don't know if you can see that grain, but look at that raised grain. That's some nice wood. Look at that. If you're a craftsman, meaning I'm making little toys or bird houses, and you had a planer and a scroll saw, this would be some good wood. And this guy just had piles of it, and he told me I could take all I want. So I burned a lot of that already. This is probably 25% of what I had left. I'm saving it for the morning because it burns so well. Had me a couple ham and cheese sandwiches earlier when I pulled in. I got here a little bit late because I was running around looking for firewood. You wouldn't believe, you think you'd drive around the national forest, but people would be selling firewood. But you know, all the big stacks of firewood that I saw, you know, if I was able to see somebody or knock on a door and get an answer, you know, they were all saying they burned it for themselves for the winter. And believe it or not, I had to drive around probably 2.5 hours looking for somebody that would sell it, and no one would sell it. I saw a couple signs, but you know, they sell it by the rick and they only deliver it. You know, it was the middle of a Thursday, so it was kind of hard to find somebody at home. But then I happened upon this sawmill. Actually, I went to one sawmill first, and I walked in there, and one of the workers said, "Hey, go, you gotta talk to this guy." And this guy was operating this machine that was cutting stuff down to about 3/4 inch. And the guy, I was standing right next to the guy, and it was so loud in there you couldn't hear me. But the guy ignored me. You know, he was making 3 or 4 or 5 cuts, you know, and he wouldn't even look at me. Finally, I screamed in his ear. I said, "Hey, you saw any campfire wood?" And he's like, "Nope, not right now." And I was like, "Well, geez, you could have told me that, you know, 5 minutes ago. I've been standing here with my thumb up my ass." But the second place I went to, the old boy was nice as can be. You know, I said, "Hey, you saw any campfire wood?" He says, "Well, we're not delivering anything." I was like, "Well, you know, do you got any scraps, anything I could just haul out of here?" And he pointed me to this big bundle of these, looked like 2x4 scraps, and said, "Hey, take all you want." He said, "That's less work for me. I don't have to pick all that shit up." So I took them. And then I just got done eating me some dogs. I ate me 4 hot dogs. Got my old trusty stick here. I found this in the barn. I think this was Mom and Dad's. You can kind of see that there. That's one of the good ones, you know. It's not one of the little cheapies. So I just got done sterilizing it. I'm going to set it back over here against the tree. Got my lantern here. You can kind of see I turned it off for now, but it puts out a heck of a light. It's like a street light when it's lit up. But I thought I had 2 socks in the case, but I don't. So I'm using, I don't know if you can see that in there. That's the only sock I got left. It's just one, and it's left over from when Jack and I came out here a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, and camped. But yeah, the wind's howling. Wish it laid out a little bit, but it is helping burn this wood. I did bring my axe, which is kind of nice. Last time I forgot to bring that. What that helps me do is cut up some of this big stuff. You know, I can split it up into smaller pieces. It burns a little quicker. You know, you don't get some of this big stuff down here in the bottom. You know, it'll stay there till morning. And then these 2x4 scraps, you know, I can split them up real small. You know, it makes a good cooking fire for the morning. And real easy to get a fire going with that. Plus, if I, you know, venture around in the morning and find something else, you know, I can chop it down if I had to. I also got my hatchet, you know, just to help split small stuff. That's about it. Got my seat. That's where I've been sitting at. I've just been sitting here all night. This is my view right here. Kind of look around a little bit. I've just been sitting here reading a book, having some smokes. You know, if you go like this on my book, you tilt that toward the fire, you can read it pretty easy. And that's what I'm reading right now. I'm reading Old Frankie. Found this at Goodwill. Always put this in my car, so I always have something to read. One of my favorites. That ain't Frankie, that's the kid that played him in the movie, but there's Old Frankie McCoy. I don't have a picture on this one. I got one at home, it's a hardback, and he's got his real picture on there. One of my favorite books. If you were brought up Irish or Catholic, or, you know, kind of didn't have a lot of money when he was a kid, especially if he's all 3, that makes a great book. I'll tell you what. It's a true story. This is a memoir. I always bring my 7-iron. You know, I was hitting some golf. I got some shag balls. Actually, this is 6-iron. I'm sorry. I had some shag balls. I was hitting them earlier. It's kind of hard to hit off this pine straw, but you know, Phil Mickelson can do it at Augusta. I can do it. So I've been doing that. Got my flashlight. This right here is a flashlight I've had forever. Matter of fact, I think my buddy John P found that at Camp Christina many moons ago, about 20 years ago. It was laying out in the field. He found it, hit the button, clicked it on, it worked, and I've had it to this day. Still got the backup bulb in the back. Got some coals popping around here. I gotta keep an eye on those. Back here I got my water saw. It's just a big bow saw that you kind of put together. It's kind of like a backpack type bow saw. Got my burners here. Tomorrow morning cook me some eggs and sausage. Or I got some soup. That's about it. It's pretty out here tonight. Yeah, the moon up there. It's a lot bigger than it looks in this picture. It's pretty nice, you know. So I'll let you sit here and enjoy the campfire here. I'll let you listen to the popping and the crackling and the hissing. And that's it. I'm down in the Hoosier National Forest. It's kind of a top secret place. You actually enter through Dean Wilderness area, but you end up actually outside of it where I'm camping out. This place me and my buddies call the Pines. It's actually in Jackson County though, where all of Dean is in Monroe County. It's just a little ways south. But pretty secluded out here, you know. I've only seen one car, and that was about 4 hours ago when it was still light out, and looked like some type of utility truck. He's heading back north, so I don't know if he's cutting through here or what. Maybe he lives in Bloomington and was working down in Freetown or something. I don't know. That's about it. So I'm going to sign off for now and talk to you soon.